What's up, everybody? Brett here, and I'm back today playing some more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. We're going to be fighting on Tor Guard. It's going to be a 3v3 small funds. Super fun game this was. I'm going to be playing as the High Elves, my allies, the Wood Elves, and the Vampire Coast. And we're up against the Empire. We're up against the Skaven. And check out the numbers here on the Vampire counts. You already know what they were doing. Yeah, and a Hellstorm rocket battery. I've got a core of White Lions. I've got my Lore Master for healing. I've got a Lithanar with his moon bow. This is going to be a fun one. It was fun to play at least. So sometimes in 3v3s, small funds, you can get very tactical, and sometimes you just want to do something cool. That was an epic fail. This tree was the bane of my existence for a large portion of this game. So were several of these other trees, really obscuring my sight. But just right off the bat, we've got Deepwood Scouts getting in on the action. I think there are some more over here, perhaps. Or are these Glade Riders with Hagbane tips next to a Glade Lord? That's a good choice, giving them that kind of mobile poison platform. We've got Count Noctilus here. He's going to be shooting off the cannonballs that come from his hands. Super cool. He's got Roth's Moondial. He has, I'm sure he has Invocation of the Heck. He has Wraith Storm, does some good damage from range if you can land it. I'm not that impressed with that ability, but it is a good one. And he also has the Drowned Dead for more summons. So his plan is going to be to summon the maximum amount of zombies he can while shooting from a distance with the Shade Wraith Gunners. And right off the bat, we are taking lots of work from the Warplock Jezzails. I'm trying to put damage on them myself. Count Noctilus is as well. But they have really good armor-piercing missiles, large volumes of fire, and they're going to tear apart Count Noctilus. And even with the Wraith Storm going off, it's going to be hard for us to shut them down. Zombies in the front are going to make up the infantry core of their armies, and there are just tons of them. And there's enough of them to block up any infantry fight that we could possibly want to have. We really, at this point, we need our range tools, all of these Glade Guards, to get in here and shut down these Warplock Jezzails. There's nothing we can do, guys, about this Hellstorm rocket battery on a hill. It's being protected by halberdiers, and we just can't get back there. He even has a mobile contingent of Empire Knights that will no doubt be very good in conjunction with Boris Todbringer on his Pegasus at stopping this Glade Lord and the Hagbane tips from getting in there and doing work. Warp Lightning coming off from Ikit Claw. My White Lions are in there. They're going to chew through these zombies no problem, but there's just so many more zombies to get through. The Lore Master is going to go and try and take this group on. I've got my Signs of Mathlon. As long as my Winds of Magic are high, they're going to give a ward save and an AoE around themselves. And I'm going to do my best to get them on these Varix Reavers, the one mobile force in conjunction with the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. A really excellent choice. They have regeneration, so they're not going to need to be babysat so much, but them coming right into my spears was actually very nice for me. And the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord also is not going to find a great home here fighting. I'm going to be giving them Earth Blood. A Lithanar is going to be back here shooting. We're trying to take out those targets, but he keeps getting his line of sight blocked by this tree. I really should have moved him away from there. That was like a scrub level move for sure. Some standard clan rats giving just a little bit more beef to that army. Where is Ikit Claw? He's probably in here somewhere running. Oh, there he is, using his flamethrower. Check this guy's model out. Warhammer 40k rat. And the Shade Gunners they're always so impressive when they shoot, but they just seem to do so little damage. And he's being blocked by this tree as well. So, very good for us. The zombie pirates get to beat out the actual zombies in combat for sure. And with a little bit of saturation from these deckhand mobs, just kind of mixed in with my White Lions, let them take the damage. And my White Lions already up to 100 kills. They're going to do their best to chew through all of these zombies. And my White Lions are staying and fighting the zombies, while my Signs of Mathlon are trying to chase this Blood Dragon and kind of muck him up, get into the Varix Reavers. But he's going to summon some zombies here and stop me. Meanwhile, the Hellstorm just rains fire down on all of our ranged units. Our Glade Guard, unfortunately, take a lot of work from that. I'm going to give them some Earth Blood here, trying to keep them topped off. But sadly, I can't heal undead units. Count Noctilus has been kind of pushed back here. Let's see what he's firing at. I'm telling you guys, these single trees everywhere. Like, look at Count Noctilus. Like, if he wants to shoot into here, very easily could have his line of sight blocked by this one tree. And at certain points, like, I do realize that the trees are in the way, and we of course reposition, but it's still rough. Hellstorm Rocket Battery is probably going to get to shoot all of its ammunition. And over here, a Prey of Anathema is going to lock down the Empire Knights and allow the Hagbane Tips to shoot in. But the Glade Guard being committed here to melee was definitely a mistake. Probably just trying to micro stuff over here and got caught. The Empire Knights are heavily armored. Boris Todbringer is an extremely powerful duelist. He doesn't have any of his stuff though. He doesn't have his regen. Actually, no, he does. He has the Rune Fang. I can see that now. But he doesn't have all of his other AoE debuffs that he can also apply. And that's going to be a Melkoth Mystifying Miasma from the Grey Wizard. It's going to make these units much slower. And if they're not shooting at Boris, on a Pegasus he's quite fast. But the poison is slowing him down. And you can see there they went from 94 speed to 70 something. That's going to make them pretty easy to chase for Boris. And even if they just spend the whole time shooting at him, it's like, what does he care? He's got regen. The Jezzails are back online, and they're once again shooting at Count Noctilus. This is a decent blob to shoot into. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they're just zombies. And all of the most dangerous stuff is still online here. Getting a few kills on them, but their models are so spread apart that it's very difficult to, do more than kill one model at a time. And Varix Reaver is going to go in on Lithanar. He's not a pushover in melee. I'm really not that scared of him getting wrecked by an anti-infantry, Black Knight unit. But check this out. The Clan Rats have been committed. The White Lions say, that's fine. Let's go ahead and chop up some Clan Rats. They're almost up to 200 kills now. And the Lore Master of Ho is up to 117. And they're made to just blender units like that. My other group is still holding firm. The Zombie Power Deckhand mobs just absorbing so much damage for them, allowing them to get up to almost 200 kills as well. I was trying to have fun with this build. I would definitely say this is not optimal for a 3v3. But I was hoping to be kind of the more elite infantry core of my team, with the Lithanar being able to snipe out lords perhaps. But I found myself in this awkward situation where the Skaven player is doing a good job of splitting up the Jezzails, so that even if I shut one down, I can't shut both of them down. And he's been using Ikit Claw very effectively. Probably the only reason I'm damaged at all in these fights is because he's been dropping his Warp Lightning down on my grouped up units. And as I turn to fight these guys, these ones shoot me in the back. And I really have no recourse for stopping them. Count Noctilus is being engaged on by the Blood Dragon. He's kind of losing this fight back here, even with the support of the Wood Elves. We've got the Shade Wraith Gunners are basically using all of their ammunition on zombies. That's no good. And yeah, the Empire Knights just charged in here. Heavy charge against my White Lions, and they're finally going to break them at 229 kills. And Boris himself is... Where did he go on the battlefield? I'm not seeing him anywhere. But the Grey Wizard plus the Empire Knights was definitely enough to break our charge. The Hellstorm Rocket Battery is still online, not getting the most kills. But the Swordmaster is going to be very difficult for these, anti-infantry, armored, really low stat units to take down. He's a really strong combatant. As long as he still has Martial Mastery up, his stats are quite high, and he's going to be very difficult for them to hit. Lithanar has rallied, but I'm not sure what difference it's going to make. The Signs of Mathlon's already up to 205 kills, and they're holding firm, but I'm not getting the benefit of their ward save anymore. I have been using my Earthblood to heal up, and they're being surrounded. They've got anti-large, they've got charge defense against all, so even against infantry, they negate charge bonuses, but it's not like the zombies were giving them much of a charge. And these guys are cool. They stand back to back with each other, they fight in the pit, and they're trying to hold on. Because they're a regiment of renown, their leadership is quite high, but they're being shot at, they're being surrounded, and there's a lord nearby. So it's going to be rough for them. I've managed to kind of pull my Lore Master close to these White Lions, but there's the Brass Orb. Kind of a free AoE spell from Ikit, and it does a ton of damage. But I've got them close enough now that I can use an Earthblood on both of them at the same time. But Enfeebling Foe is going to lower my stats and ultimately lead to us being wiped out. So we got picked apart this game. Our opponents went for a very serious build. They had a nice mobile core with Boris, his knights, and the Grey Wizard. They had just enough strong units to defend their Hellstorm rocket battery up on a very commanding hill. The Skaven player had 3 Warplock Jezzails who didn't get a lot of kills, but they did a ton of damage. And they made it very hard to skirmish at that kind of medium range, and we weren't able to shut them down. That was definitely mostly up to the Wood Elf player to do that, but, you know, maybe my line wasn't long enough, wasn't wide enough to kind of protect them in the way they needed to in order to get up close and personal. The kills kind of speak for themselves on my units, but what they were killing was basically just hordes and hordes of zombie trash. And perhaps if we had had a bit more saturation from Count Noctilus, these kills are great, you know, on his units, of course. These are much cheaper than my White Lions, too, by the way. But there's also no way to reflect the number of kills that he was able to get with all of the summons as well. So a lot of value generated from Count Noctilus. Unfortunately, the Skaven player just had the perfect counter in the form of the Warplock Jezzails. And, you know, the Hellstorm rocket battery didn't do a lot of damage, honestly. But what it did do is force us to come into range and fight within range of it. So it was always just kind of this scary entity on the battlefield. And these 74 kills are probably almost exclusively on Glade Guard units, Deepwood Scouts, and things like that. And then let's take a look at the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord and the Varix Reavers. Very good choices. This is like a great 3v3 small funds battle army. They regen, like I said. Both of these units regen. They're the only high value things on the field. They're really all that he has to micro, and that makes it super convenient for picking off loose targets. Kind of very similar to Boris and his squad. Like, point this at something, leave this there to defend it, and then roll around and attack what you can pick off. This was definitely a fun build. The Shade Wraith Gunners unfortunately suck. I wish they didn't because they're such a cool unit. You need to be shooting at something with a lot of physical resistance, I think, to generate value. So Bretonia, for instance, has their Grail Knights. That would be a good target. Any kind of ethereal unit, of course, would be good as well. But without that, they're just not very good, sadly. And maybe the Deepwood Scouts might have been better as something else. I think if you're trying to go cheap and go wide, the Starfire Shafts do decent armor piercing, and their fire damage can also be relevant versus the Undead, for sure. And sadly, losing that Glade Lord very early, she could have generated a ton of value by, you know, skirmishing at range, but she got tossed in and only got 2 kills, which is kind of rough. Yeah, could have used her in the late game for sure. No reason why she couldn't have gotten maybe like 100 kills. And kind of the same with the Glade Riders. I know the plan there was to get in the back line and kind of make it so that maybe they could shut down the Hellstorm rocket battery. But at the end of the day, it shot almost all of its ammo, and we lost 2 of our most mobile units kind of for free. So that sucked. But we played well together, and there are more games to come. This was a fun one. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to all the players who played in this game. I love 3v3s, and I love small funds as a format. It forces people to think outside the box and do stuff different. If I was going to be more competitive in this type of match with the High Elves, I would probably go 3 standard Spearmen and 3 standard Archers, and probably cut a Lithanar and go for something just like a standard like Princess maybe, much cheaper. Still probably have the Lore Master. This guy is almost always good as just a foot. He's almost like a foot lord in and of himself, and his casting is great. You don't have to worry about babysit him. Wherever you stick him in the front lines, he'll be fine. And that way I would have gone much wider. I would have had a lot more to contest all of the zombies, and I would have had my own archers to contest the Warplock Jezzails. And in that way, we might have been able to shut them down. You know, snowball effect, right? Save Count Noctilus from having to retreat so much. And put more pressure on them so that maybe Boris and his crew wouldn't have been able to go in the back line and shut down the elves. So you can see how just a simple change, even on my part, could have led towards kind of a snowballing effect of us being able to possibly win this game. But I love White Lions. They're one of my favorite thematic units in the game, and anytime I get a chance to use them, I will. So that's basically all that was. So guys, like I said, thank you for watching. And once again, my name is Brett. My channel is Goodtalk Gaming. If you would like, guys, I have a Discord channel that it's going to be in the description down below. There's a place in there for you guys to submit Total War replays to me if you'd like for me to cast them. And yeah, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I hope you consider doing that. We have a great time, and yeah, come hang out. So that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Take care.